Hey man, you ever come across something in an old house that just stares back at you? Like, not in a cute way, but in a way that makes your skin crawl, as if it's waiting for you to turn your back. Yeah, that's how it started for this poor girl I knew. It was like the thing had a pulse, hidden under layers of dust and forgotten memories. And what came after? Let's just say it wasn't dust that ended up staining her hands. Before listening to the story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because there are many more scary stories coming. Alright, settle in, because this one's a doozy. I'm telling you this like it happened to a friend of a friend, but swear to God, it's as real as the coffee I'm sipping right now. Names changed to protect the innocent, you know. Let's call her Emily. She was just your average 28-year-old from Columbus, Ohio, working a dead-end job at a call center, dealing with angry customers all day about their cable bills. Nothing glamorous, but she was getting by. Then, out of the blue, she gets this call from a lawyer. Her grandma, who she hadn't seen since she was a kid, had passed away in some sleepy little town called Milford, about 2 hours west of the city. Left to the old family house on Elm Street, yeah, ironic name, right? And a bit of cash to boot. Emily wasn't close to her grandma. From what she remembered, the old lady was reclusive, always holed up in that creaky Victorian house, surrounded by antiques and cats. But hey, free house in this economy. She quit her job, packed up her beat-up Honda Civic, and drove out there thinking it was her big break. A fresh start, away from the noise of the city. Milford was one of those places where time forgot to move forward, population maybe 1,000, with a main street that had a diner, a hardware store, and a church that looked like it hadn't seen a fresh coat of paint since the 50s. The house itself was at the end of Elm, backed up against a thick patch of woods that stretched out into farmland. Big wraparound porch, turret on one side, the kind of place that looks charming in daylight, but turns sinister when the sun dips low. She pulled up on a crisp fall afternoon, leaves crunching under her tires. The key was under the mat, just like the lawyer said. Pushing open the door, that musty smell hit her old wood, mothballs, and something faintly metallic, like pennies. She laughed it off, figuring it was just the age of the place. Spent the first day unpacking, blasting some music on her phone to drown out the silence. But as evening rolled in, the house started to feel off. You know how old houses creak. This one groaned, like it was alive and shifting its weight. Emily shrugged it off, made herself a sandwich, and crashed on the lumpy couch in the living room. That first night, she couldn't sleep. The bedroom upstairs was too stuffy, so she stayed downstairs. Around midnight, she heard it, a soft, whimpering sound. Like a kid crying, muffled through walls. She sat up, heart pounding a little. "Hello," she called out, feeling stupid. Nothing. Probably the wind, or maybe a stray cat outside. But it kept going, on and off, until she dozed off around dawn. Next morning, she decided to explore the attic. Grandma had been a hoarder, apparently boxes of yellowed letters, faded photos, dusty furniture. Up there, under a tarp, she found it, the doll. It was one of those antique porcelain things, about 2 feet tall, with a frilly dress that might have been white once, but was now yellowed with age. The face was cracked in places, hair matted and stringy, like real hair but brittle. The eyes were glass, a faded blue that seemed to follow you if you moved. Emily picked it up, dusting it off. "Creepy little thing," she muttered. But something about it tugged at her, maybe nostalgia. She set it on a shelf in the living room, figuring it could be worth something on eBay. That day, she ran errands in town. Stopped at the diner for coffee, chatted with the waitress, a middle-aged woman named Doris with a smoker's rasp. "You the granddaughter of old Mrs. Hargrove?" Doris asked, pouring her a refill. Emily nodded. Sad about her passing. She kept to herself mostly. Folks said she talked to herself up there, especially after her husband died back in '92. Emily raised an eyebrow. Talked to herself. Doris leaned in, lowering her voice. Yeah, mumbling about keeping watch or something. Probably just lonely. Small towns like this, people get eccentric. Back home, Emily felt a chill as she walked in. The doll was still on the shelf, but had she left the lights on? No, she hadn't. The living room lamp was glowing dimly. Faulty wiring, she thought. That night, the crying started again. Louder this time, coming from upstairs. She grabbed a flashlight from her car, the house's power was spotty, and crept up the stairs. The attic door was ajar. She pushed it open, beam sweeping the darkness. Boxes, dust motes dancing in the light. The crying stopped abruptly. Silence pressed in, thick and heavy. Her breath sounded loud in her ears. Nothing there. She laughed nervously, closed the door, and went back to bed. But sleep didn't come easy. She lay there, staring at the ceiling, shadows from the tree outside playing across the walls. Every creak made her jump. By morning, she was exhausted, bags under her eyes. Decided to distract herself by cleaning. While wiping down the shelf, she noticed something on the doll's face, a red streak under one eye, like a tear. She touched it, it smeared sticky on her finger. Paint? No, it smelled coppery. Blood? Her stomach twisted. Maybe the doll had some old mechanism inside, like those crying dolls from the '80s, but with red dye that leaked. She washed her hands, set the doll back, and tried to forget it. Days blurred. Emily started noticing little things. Doors she swore she locked were open. Footsteps in the hall when she was alone. And the silence, God, the silence in that house was unnatural. No birds chirping near the windows, no hum of traffic. Just quiet, broken by occasional whispers she couldn't quite make out. Was it the wind? Or her imagination? She called her best friend back in Columbus, Sarah, to vent. This place is giving me the creeps, she said over the phone, pacing the kitchen. Like, I hear crying at night, and this doll. It's weird. Sarah laughed. You're just stressed from the move. Get out, meet some people. Small towns aren't haunted, they are boring. Emily tried. Went to the local bar, Murphy's Pub, on a Friday night. Dim lights, pool tables, country music on the jukebox. She nursed a beer, chatting with a guy named Tom, a mechanic with grease-stained hands and an easy smile. Heard you're in the Hargrove house, he said. That place has history. She perked up. What kind? He shrugged. Your grandpa, he disappeared one night. Folks said he ran off, but your grandma never believed it. Kept saying he was still watching over her. Kinda sad. Emily felt a prickle on her neck. Watching? Tom nodded. Yeah. She had this old doll she treated like a kid. Weird, huh? Back home, the doll was waiting. Another red tear, fresh. Emily stared at it, heart racing. She grabbed it, turned it over, looking for a seam or battery compartment. Nothing. Porcelain cold under her fingers. She set it down hard, and that's when she heard it, a faint click, like something shifting inside. But no, dolls don't click. She was imagining things. That night, the crying was relentless. It echoed through the house, pulling her from sleep. She stumbled upstairs, flashlight in hand. Attic door open again. Inside, the top was pulled back, boxes disturbed. In the corner, shadows seemed to move, coalescing into shapes that vanished when she blinked. Her breath came in short gasps. "Who's there?" Silence. Then, a whisper, her name. No, couldn't be. She fled downstairs, locked herself in the bedroom. Lay there, covers pulled tight, listening to the house settle. Every shadow on the wall looked like a figure. The clock ticked too loudly. Hours passed in that limbo between wakefulness and dread. Morning light filtered in, and she felt foolish. Called a handyman to check the wiring and pipes, maybe that's where the sounds came from. Old guy named Hank showed up, tools clanking. "These old houses," he said, poking around the attic. "They got secrets. Your grandma, she was always fiddling with stuff up here." He found nothing wrong, but as he left, he glanced at the doll. "That thing gives me the willies. Looks like it's crying blood." Emily froze. "What did you say?" Hank chuckled. "Just kidding. Red paint or something. But seriously, get rid of it." She tried. Threw it in the trash outside. But that night, the crying was louder, closer. She woke to find the doll back on the shelf, red streaks dried on its cheeks. How? Did she sleepwalk? Or? No, that was crazy. She confronted Doris at the diner the next day. "Did my grandma ever mention a doll?" Doris thought. "Oh yeah, she called it Little Annie. Said it was her daughter's, but your mom was her only kid, right?" "Wait, no, there was a sister, I think. Died young or something. Tragic family." Emily dug through the boxes that afternoon. Found old photos, grandma young, holding a baby. Another with a toddler girl, but not her mom. Letters, two yellowed paper, ink faded. One from 1965, "Dear Mother, Anne is not well. The doctor says it's her blood. She's crying again." Annie? Emily's great-aunt. She Googled on her phone spotty service, but she found an old obituary. Annie Hargrove, died at age 5 in 1967. Cause, unexplained anemia. The house felt colder after that. Shadows lengthened earlier. She started leaving lights on, but bulbs flickered, died unexpectedly. Nights were the worst. The silence would build, then shatter with a sob. Emily would lie there, hair standing on end, imagining eyes in the dark. Was someone watching? The doll's glass gaze followed her everywhere. She stopped sleeping, started seeing things, a figure at the window, gone when she looked. Strange behavior from townsfolk too, they'd stare as she walked by, whisper. Paranoia set in. Was Tom following her? Or Hank? No, that was ridiculous. But the fear gnawed, psychological, burrowing deep. One stormy night, thunder rattling the windows, the crying peaked. Emily grabbed a kitchen knife, crept to the attic. Darkness swallowed the light. Shadows danced wildly. She approached the doll, now on the floor, red pools around it. Not dyed blood, warm and sticky. A whisper, "Emily." She whirled. Nothing. Then, a hand on her shoulder, cold, bony. Heart hammering, she spun, knife slashing air. Tripped over a box, fell hard. When she came to, dawn light streamed in. The doll was shattered, porcelain shards everywhere. But in the debris, a locket inside, a photo of Annie, and a note, "He watches through her eyes." Emily fled the house that day, drove back to Columbus, never looked back. Sold the place remotely. But here's the twist that still chills me, months later, she got a package. No sender. Inside. The doll, pieced together, eyes gleaming. And a fresh red tear. She burned it, but sometimes at night, she swears she hears crying. And feels watched. Wait, that's not the end. Let me back up, I said it was real, right? Emily told me this herself, over coffee in the city. She looked haunted, eyes darting. It's not over, she whispered. The doll was just a vessel. Grandpa didn't run off, Grandma killed him, hid the body in the attic walls. Annie saw it, that's why she cried, blood from stress, poor kid died of fright basically. Grandma kept the doll as a reminder, talking to it like it was him, watching. But the package? Someone in town sent it. They are keeping the secret. And now, they know I know. Last I heard, Emily vanished. House is empty again. If you drive by Milford, don't stop. And if you hear crying, run. Phew, that gave me shivers just retelling it. What do you think? Crazy, huh?